The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
What can we do for you, sir?
I'm after a funeral.
Boy, are you in luck. Solid pecan, steel handles, whatever you want.
Party.
A what?
A funeral party. And I want to be there.
You will be, I guarantee you.
I want to be there now.
Alive? You want to have a funeral party while you're alive so you can go.
Yes or no?
Yes!
The movie is called Get Low. Looks like Bill Murray's in there as well. To tell us all about it, it's Lena Lamont. Morning, Lena.
Good morning, Wammo.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
What about this one? I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a good old Bill Murray film.
Right, exactly. Very promising, isn't it? Because when the trailers for this started happening, various friends were going, I love Bill Murray! And these are people who even loved him in Lost in Translation, which I felt was kind of a polarising film. You know, people either loved it or really didn't like it.
You're not my friend if you don't like Lost in Translation.
Oh, in that case, I totally loved it, obviously. He's been great throughout his career, right? And he's done Broken Flowers and a whole lot of stuff more recently. So, very promising. And they've brought back, I shouldn't say brought back, I'm treating Robert Duvall like he's been gone for years and that he's having this big renaissance, which isn't strictly speaking true. He's played fair-sized supporting roles in films like We Own the Night a few years ago. That was he was the grumpy police dad to he's got the drug-addled Joaquin Phoenix son and the good cop son. But anyway, he's been around, but he hasn't had a featuring role like this for quite some time, as far as I can tell. And welcome return, Robert Duvall, because he literally bursts onto the screen, shotgun cocked, ready to shoot anybody who dares come on his property. He plays this hermit who lives out in the backwoods in I believe it's 1930s Tennessee, and he's a real character. So right, the whole premise being, he wants to throw his own funeral. Have you ever thought, I have thought I would love to be at my funeral, because I would like to know what people
say,
and also
maybe a pre-funeral.
Yeah, well, that's right. But I think maybe the idea of pre-funerals might start to come round, but it seems to be a little bit, it's a bit taboo at the moment. I've talked about it with not my own yet, obviously, with a few people, but I've talked about the concept of it with people.
You want to get up in the front of everyone and go, how good was I?
Yeah.
Tell me.
But nobody will say it when you're there. And this is the whole idea, right? This character, Felix Bush, he knows, despite the fact that he lives out in the backwoods, he knows that the whole town is talking about him and that there are rumours circulating all the time and that they all basically have a really dim view of him and the life that he's led. And the whole film is around this particular big rumour. We don't know what it is until towards the end. And so the build-up is him wanting to throw himself a funeral and dare any townsfolk to come along and tell a story about him. And of course, it's the whole thing. People will gossip about you behind your back, but what are they really going to say to your face? Particularly if you're this angry, bearded, shotgun-wielding kind of crazy guy. Okay,
and how's Bill Murray in it?
Actually, I think Bill Murray is the best thing in it. The concept is great. And I actually felt that the follow-through of the story wasn't that great. It's very laid back and maybe therefore gets a bit ambling and a bit slow, and it isn't actually as awesome as it could be. But Bill Murray's character and Bill Murray's performance is really lovely, and it's a little bit understated, so he's not overdoing things. So he's a pleasure to watch.
Okay, all right, it's called Get Low, and it's coming to cinemas March 24th. On to now something completely different.
These rocks, these caves. Where else can you shine a light where no human's been? There's nowhere else left on the planet to explore.
It is the last
here comes the big voice. It must be a big film, a big blockbuster. It's called Sanctum.
Oh my goodness. Without even seeing the trailer, right? Hearing the trailer, you can hear the overacting, can't you? It's
for those not able to see the trailer, it's got the one of the first words you see is 3D.
Yes. It's got to be in 3D because otherwise
It's
I don't
pointless.
even know it's really worth going to. I would not see this in 2D or anything less. The characterization is distinctly 1D.
Yeah.
So the premise is there's this bunch of explorers. They're mainly Australian. Yay, go the Aussies! And they're in they're cave diving in Papua New Guinea, and their acting is terrible. And even some really good Australian actors like Richard Roxburgh, and maybe it's because they've been handed a bum script, but their acting is really kind of like watching a high school play.
Well,
and actually, that's mean because some high school plays nowadays are awesome.
It sounds like one of those movies where all the money's poured into the visual
Special
effects,
effects.
and,
Yeah.
and then at the end they went, "Oh, we're going to get some actors."
Yeah, that's right. And it's kind of nice that it isn't a completely an American film. So as I say, the cast is mainly Australian.
Yeah.
Then they throw in Welshman Jon Griffith, who is a really fine actor. He was William Wilberforce in Amazing Grace, and he's also in the Fantastic Four. He's the main one of those four. I don't know those characters' names,
Right.
but he's a wonderful Welsh actor who does a fantastic American accent usually, but he must have left it behind this time because he's playing the token American in the film, an arrogant financier who's the money behind the excursion. We must go down into those waters despite all the people who are dying and how terrible it is and the fact that there's a storm above and all. You've got to have that motivating guy, I guess.
Yeah. Bum storyline. Do the visual effects make up for it?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have to say I'm watching this film thinking I'm going to have to give this a star rating, and at this stage this is a 1 out of 5. But not even just the visual effects, actually, the exciting, most of the setups, particularly of the various people's horrible deaths, are exciting and well done. And so that kind of lifts it gently to a 2 out of 5. It's a hard film to review and a hard film to recommend, because if you just want to go along for dumb spectacle and you're not that bothered about the fact that there is no clever story to speak of, and as I say, the acting in the script is pretty dire. But it's still kind of entertainment. It is still entertainment.
Yep.
But you
Okay.
need the 3D.
Leave your mind at home.
Yes.
It is called Sanctum. It is out now. Lena Lamont, thanks so much for coming on in.
Always a pleasure.
Check out the film reviews in the Sunday Star Times and also at lenalamont.wordpress.com.
No matter what happens, you never, ever give up.
Sanctum.